छत्रं सुच्छत्रो विख्यातो लोकः सर्वाश्रयः क्रमः मुण्डो विरूपो विकृतो दण्डी कुण्डी विकुर्वणः छत्रं सुच्छत्रो विख्यातो लोकः सर्वाश्रयः क्रमः मुण्डो विरूपो विकृतो दण्डी कुण्डी विकुर्वणः छत्रं सुच्छत्रो विख्यातो लोकः सर्वाश्रयः क्रमः मुण्डो विरूपो विकृतो दण्डी कुण्डी विकुर्वणः छत्रं सुच्छत्रो विख्यातो लोकः सर्वाश्रयः क्रमः मुण्डो विरूपो विकृतो दण्डी कुण्डी विकुर्वणः हर्यक्षः ककुभो वज्रो शतजिह्वः सहस्रपात् सहस्रमूर्धा देवेन्द्रः सर्वदेवमयो गुरुः हर्यक्षः ककुभो वज्रो शतजिह्वः सहस्रपात् सहस्रमूर्धा देवेन्द्रः सर्वदेवमयो गुरुः हर्यक्षः ककुभो वज्रो शतजिह्वः सहस्रपात् सहस्रमूर्धा देवेन्द्रः सर्वदेवमयो गुरुः हर्यक्षः ककुभो वज्रो शतजिह्वः सहस्रपात् सहस्रमूर्धा देवेन्द्रः सर्वदेवमयो गुरुः सहस्रबाहुः सर्वाङ्गः शरण्यः सर्वलोककृत् सहस्रबाहुः सर्वाङ्गः शरण्यः सर्वलोककृत् सहस्रबाहुः सर्वाङ्गः शरण्यः क्षम्यताम् सहस्रबाहुः सर्वाङ्गः शरण्यः सर्वलोककृत् सहस्रबाहुः सर्वाङ्गः शरण्यः सर्वलोककृत् पवित्रं त्रिककुन्मन्त्रः कनिष्ठः कृष्णपिङ्गलः पवित्रं त्रिककुन्मन्त्रः कनिष्ठः कृष्णपिङ्गलः पवित्रं त्रिककुन्मन्त्रः कनिष्ठः कृष्णपिङ्गलः पवित्रं त्रिककुन्मन्त्रः कनिष्ठः कृष्णपिङ्गलः ब्रह्मदण्डविनिर्माता शतघ्नीपाशशक्तिमान् पद्मगर्भो महागर्भो ब्रह्मगर्भो जलोद्भवः 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 गभस्तिर्ब्रह्मकृद् ब्रह्मी ब्रह्मविद् ब्राह्मणो गतिः अनन्तरूपो नैकात्मा तिग्मतेजाः स्वयं भुवः गभस्तिर्ब्रह्मकृत् ब्रह्मी ब्रह्मविद् ब्राह्मणो गतिः अनन्तरूपोऽनैकात्मा तिग्मतेजा स्वयं भुवः गभस्तिर्ब्रह्मकृद्ब्रह्मी ब्रह्मविद् ब्राह्मणो गतिः अनन्तरूपोऽनैकात्मा तिग्मतेजा स्वयं भुवः गभस्तिर्ब्रह्मकृद्ब्रह्मी ब्रह्मविद् ब्राह्मणो गतिः अनन्तरूपोऽनैकात्मा तिग्मतेजा स्वयं भुवः ऊर्ध्वगात्मा पशुपतिर्वातरंहा मनोजवः चन्दनी पद्मनालाग्रः सुरभ्युत्तरणो नरः ऊर्ध्वगात्मा पशुपतिर्वातरंहा मनोजवः चन्दनी पद्मनालाग्रस् सुरभ्युत्तरणो नरः सुरभ्युत्तरणो नरः सुरभ्युत्तरणो नरः ऊर्ध्वगात्मा पशुपतिर्वातरंहा मनोजवः चन्दनी पद्मनालाग्रः सुरभ्युत्तरणो नरः कर्णिकारमहास्रग्वी नीलमौलिः पिनाकधृत् उमापतिरुमाकान्तो जाह्नवी धृगुमाधवः very carefully कर्णिका रमः स्रग्वी कर्णिकारमः स्रग्वी नीलमौलिः पिनाकधृत् कर्णिकारमः स्रग्वी. This is not stra, it is sra, S-R-A, sra. कर्णिकारमहास्रग्वी नीलमौलिः पिनाकधृत् उमापतिरुमाकान्तो जाह्नवी धृगुमाधवः जाह्नवी धृगुमाधवः जाह्नवी धृगुमाधवः उमापतिरुमाकान्तो. It is split as umapatir umakanto. It becomes umapatirumakanto. उमापतिरुमाकान्तो जाह्नवी धृगुमाधवः जाह्नवी धृगुमाधवः वरो वराहो वरदो वरेण्यः सुमहास्वनः महाप्रसादो दमनः शत्रुः श्वेतपिङ्गलः वरो वराहो वरदो वरेण्यः सुमहास्वनः महाप्रसादो दमनः शत्रुः श्वेतपिङ्गलः वरो वराहो वरदो वरेण्यः सुमहास्वनः महाप्रसादो दमनः शत्रुः श्वेतपिङ्गलः पीतात्मा परमात्मा च प्रयतात्मा प्रधानधृत् सर्वपार्श्वमुखस्त्र्यक्षो धर्मसाधारणो वरः सर्वपार्श्वमुखस्त्र्यक्षो सर्वपार्श्वमुखस्त्र्यक्षो TRYAKSHO त्र्यक्षो सर्वपार्श्वमुखस्त्र्यक्षो धर्मसाधारणो वरः पीतात्मा परमात्मा च प्रयतात्मा प्रधानधृत् सर्वपार्श्वमुखस्त्र्यक्षो धर्मसाधारणो वरः पीतात्मा परमात्मा च प्रयतात्मा प्रधानधृत् सर्वपार्श्वमुखस्त्र्यक्षो धर्मसाधारणो वरः चराचरात्मा सूक्ष्मात्मा अमृतो गो वृषेश्वरः साध्यर्षिर्वसुरादित्यो साध्यर्षिर् 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 वसुरादित्यो 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 विवस्वान् सवितामृतः विवस्वान् सवितामृतः विवस्वान् सवितामृतः साध्यर्षिर्वसुरादित्यो विवस्वान् सवितामृतः चराचरात्मा सूक्ष्मात्मा अमृतो गोवृषेश्वरः साध्यर्षिर्वसुरादित्यो विवस्वान् सवितामृतः चराचरात्मा सूक्ष्मात्मा अमृतो गोवृषेश्वरः साध्यर्षिर्वसुरादित्यो विवस्वान् सवितामृतः व्यासः सर्गः सुसङ्क्षेपो विस्तरः पर्ययो नरः ऋतुसंवत्सरो मासः पक्षः संख्या समापनः व्यासः सर्गः सुसङ्क्षेपो विस्तरः पर्ययो नरः ऋतुसंवत्सरो मासः पक्षः संख्या समापनः व्यासः सर्गः सुसङ्क्षेपो विस्तरः पर्ययो नरः ऋतुसंवत्सरो मासः पक्षः संख्या समापनः कलाकाष्ठालवा मात्रा मुहूर्ताः क्षपाः क्षणाः. Now this ha is extra here, so please delete it. What is present is just muhurta and the two dots. Muhurta, but why they have given the ha is because this visarga actually must be pronounced in full. That is muhurtaha kshapaha kshanaha. They must have given another ha here, but it seems missing. So remember this very specially. Make it a point. We draw a cloud around it. Technically the sandhi does not happen here. So whenever there is a visarga before a ksha, as is the case in both in these two words, the visarga is as good as coming at the end of a sentence. And what do we do when it comes at the end of sentence? For example, here when it came, we said sankhya samapanaha. We said ha samapanaha. Similarly here, muhurtaha kshapaha kshanaha. This is the technical way to pronounce it. Even if you don't actually do this, it's fine because stotrams are not really very rigid in their dictats of pronunciation. However, in the Vedic mantras and such, it is very important. Still, it's nice to chant it in the semantically correct way. कला काष्ठालवा मात्रा मुहूर्ताः क्षपाः क्षणाः कला काष्ठालवा मात्रा मुहूर्ताः क्षपाः क्षणाः कला काष्ठालवा मात्रा मुहूर्ताः क्षपाः क्षणाः. You understand? मुहूर्ताः क्षपाः क्षणाः. कला काष्ठालवा मात्रा मुहूर्ताः क्षपाः क्षणाः. विश्वक्षेत्रं प्रजा बीजं लिङ्गमाद्यस्तु निर्गमः. लिङ्गमाद्यस् लिङ्गमाद्यस् lingam plus adyas becomes lingamadyas, but by pronouncing lingamadyas tu nirgamaha. विश्वक्षेत्रं प्रजा बीजं लिङ्गमाद्यस्तु निर्गमः. विश्वक्षेत्रं प्रजा बीजं लिङ्गमाद्यस्तु निर्गमः. विश्वक्षेत्रं प्रजा बीजं लिङ्गमाद्यस्तु निर्गमः. सदसद् व्यक्तमव्यक्तम्. So write this down. It is sadasad. 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 Vyaktamavvyaktam. 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 Vyaktam avyaktam. Sadasad. Vyaktamavvyaktam. Sad asad, which is true, which is false. Vyaktam, that which is manifest, and that which is not manifest. So sadasad vyaktamavvyaktam. Sadasad vyaktamavvyaktam. Pita mata pitamahah. Sadasad vyaktamavvyaktam. Pita mata pitamahah. स्वर्गद्वारं प्रजाद्वारं मोक्षद्वारं त्रिविष्टपम्. स्वर्गद्वारं प्रजाद्वारं मोक्षद्वारं त्रिविष्टपम्. स्वर्गद्वारं प्रजाद्वारं मोक्षद्वारं त्रिविष्टपम्. सदसद्व्यक्तमव्यक्तं पिता माता पितामहः. स्वर्गद्वारं प्रजाद्वारं मोक्षद्वारं त्रिविष्टपम्. निर्वाणं ह्लादनश्चैव ब्रह्मलोकः परागतिः. देवासुरविनिर्माता देवासुरपरायणः. Now the following three verses sound very rhythmic, very alliteration interspersed. It's really so soothing to hear. निर्वाणं ह्लादनश्चैव ब्रह्मलोकः परागतिः. देवासुरविनिर्माता देवासुरपरायणः. निर्वाणं ह्लादनश्चैव ब्रह्मलोकः परागतिः. देवासुरविनिर्माता देवासुरपरायणः. देवासुरगुरुर्देवो देवासुरनमस्कृतः. So Devasura becomes the constant refrain in all these shlokas. So keep that in mind. Devasura Gurur Devo Devasura Namaskritah. Devasura Gurur Devo Devasura Namaskritah. Devasura Maha Matro Devasura Ganashrayah. Devasura Maha Matro Devasura Ganashrayah. Devasura Maha Matro Devasura Ganashrayah. देवासुरगुरुर्देवो देवासुरनमस्कृतः देवासुरमहामात्रो देवासुरगणाश्रयः नेक्स्ट देवासुरगणाध्यक्षो देवासुरगणाग्रणीः देवातिदेवो देवर्षिर्देवासुरवरप्रदः देवासुरगणाध्यक्षो देवासुरगणाग्रणीः देवातिदेवो देवासुरवरप्रदः देवासुरगणाध्यक्षो देवासुरगणाग्रणीः देवातिदेवो देवासुरवरप्रदः देवासुरगणाध्यक्षो देवासुरगणाग्रणीः देवातिदेवो देवर्षिर्देवासुरवरप्रदः देवासुरेश्वरो विश्वो देवासुरमहेश्वरः सर्वदेवमयोच्चिन्त्यो देवतात्मात्मसम्भवः. Now all these extra s's mean nothing while reciting. Devatatma Sambhavah. So make it Devatatma. The actual word, how it is split is Devatatma plus Atma Sambhava. But while reciting, Devatatmatma Sambhavaha. Devatat Matma Sambhavaha. Devatat Matma Sambhavaha. Devatat Matma Sambhavaha. देवासुरेश्वरो विश्वो देवासुरमहेश्वरः सर्वदेवमयोच्चिन्त्यो देवतात्मात्मसम्भवः देवासुरेश्वरो विश्वो देवासुरमहेश्वरः सर्वदेवमयोचिन्त्यो देवतात्मात्मसम्भवः उद्भित् त्रिविक्रमो वैद्यो विरजो नीरजो मरः ईड्यो हस्तीश्वरो व्याघ्रो देवसिंहो नरर्षभः. Here it is Udbhit. 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 Trivikramo. Udbhit त्रिविक्रमो वैद्यो विरजो नीरजो मरः ईड्यो हस्तीश्वरो व्याघ्रो देवसिंहो नरर्षभः उद्भित् त्रिविक्रमो वैद्यो विरजो नीरजो मरः ईड्यो हस्तीश्वरो व्याघ्रो देवसिंहो नरर्षभः विबुधोऽग्रवरः सूक्ष्मः सर्वदेवस्तपोमयः सुयुक्तः शोभनो वज्री प्रासानां प्रभवो व्ययः विबुधोऽग्रवरः सूक्ष्मः सर्वदेवस्तपोमयः सुयुक्तः शोभनो वज्री प्रासानां प्रभवो व्ययः विबुधोऽग्रवरः सूक्ष्मः सर्वदेवस्तपोमयः सुयुक्तः शोभनो वज्री प्रासानां प्रभवो व्ययः गुहः कान्तो निजः सर्गः पवित्रः पवित्रं सर्वपावनः शृङ्गी शृङ्गप्रियो बभ्रूराजराजो निरामयः गुहः कान्तो निजः सर्गः पवित्रं सर्वपावनः शृङ्गी शृङ्गप्रियो बभ्रूराजराजो निरामयः गुहः कान्तो निजः सर्गः पवित्रं सर्वपावनः शृङ्गी शृङ्गप्रियो बभ्रूराजराजो निरामयः अभिरामः सुरगणो विरामः सर्वसाधनः ललाटाक्षो विश्वदेवो हरिणो ब्रह्मवर्चसः अभिरामः सुरगणो विरामः सर्वसाधनः ललाटाक्षो विश्वदेवो हरिणो ब्रह्मवर्चसः अभिरामः सुरगणो विरामः सर्वसाधनः ललाटाक्षो विश्वदेवो हरिणो ब्रह्मवर्चसः स्थावराणां पतिश्चैव नियमेन्द्रियवर्धनः सिद्धार्थः सिद्धभूतार्थोऽचिन्त्यः सत्यव्रतः शुचिः. Lot of Mahapranas here. So take a deep breath and say with me. सिद्धार्थः सिद्धभूतार्थोऽचिन्त्यः सत्यव्रतः शुचिः सिद्धार्थः सिद्धभूतार्थोऽचिन्त्यः सत्यव्रतः शुचिः स्थावराणां पतिश्चैव नियमेन्द्रियवर्धनः सिद्धार्थः सिद्धभूतार्थोऽचिन्त्यः सत्यव्रतः शुचिः स्थावराणां पतिश्चैव नियमेन्द्रियवर्धनः सिद्धार्थः सिद्धभूतार्थोऽचिन्त्यः सत्यव्रतः शुचिः व्रताधिपः परं ब्रह्म भक्तानां परमागतिः विमुक्तो मुक्ततेजाश्च श्रीमान् श्रीवर्धनो जगत् व्रताधिपः परं ब्रह्म भक्तानां परमागतिः विमुक्तो मुक्ततेजाश्च श्रीमान् श्रीवर्धनो जगत् व्रताधिपः परं ब्रह्म भक्तानां परमागतिः विमुक्तो मुक्ततेजाश्च श्रीमान् श्रीवर्धनो जगत्. So thus ends the Sahasranamam. Iti Sahasranama Stotram. You see the final name, Nama, which is Jagat, in all summarizes the paradigm and the philosophy behind this entire stotram. So the entire point was to see Shiva in this world, to see Shiva in ourselves, in the world, the internal and the external world. And so finally it ends with Jagat. And what was the first name? Sthira. So he is the Sthira, that which is the unmoving principle. And Jagat literally means that which moves. You see, it envelops everything which moves and which moves not. It encompasses everything in between, that which is the most unmoving and the most moving, which is Jagat. Jangamyate iti Jagat. That is the technical definition of Jagat. That which keeps oscillating, that which keeps moving is called Jagat. And the first name was Sthira, which is fixed, which is unmoving, unchanging, indestructible. The Amrita, the deathless principle. and he is also the Jagat. And so the entire philosophy was to see Shiva in every aspect of our lives, to see Shiva in as and so whenever the next time when we have, after let's say by hearting and memorizing all these shlokas, or at least when we sit to study with the stotram once again, hopefully it will continue. It will not end with the Mahashivratri day after tomorrow. So when it does continue in our spiritual time, these half an hour or 1 hour when we sit to study this, we have to go over each of of these names, these 1,000 names, and try to actually go over the meaning and see it. Even though it may seem very fake at first, Upamanyu himself says you have to see Shiva in the Jagat. So the entire point was Sarvam Shivamayam Jagat. This entire Jagat, Sarvam Jagat, Shivamayam. It is made of Shiva and Shiva alone. And Shiva, not just that yogi who sits in the Himalayas, but Shiva as in that supreme principle, which is both the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the divine neutral. So that which is beyond all genders, which is beyond all human anthropological images of God, it is God itself. So that is Thira. And you see, the Sahasranama could have easily begun with Shiva, but it began with Sthira. And thus, it was very deliberate, I feel, because Shiva would just, even if it began with Shiva, our whatever the first thought is, they say that will shape the entire worldview or the paradigm. It will set the paradigm. Just as when the first thought that we wake up in the morning will determine what our mood for the entire day and what our purpose for the entire day will be like. Similarly, whatever the first nama in the 1,008 namas will set the tone, will set the mood. And so they very nicely, though it is not crafted, but it seems to be a very nice coincidence that they actually chose to start with Sthira and then end with Jagat. So it also can be thought of this way, you see. Uh, we chant the Sahasranama for peace of mind, for sthirata, for stability. We don't chant the Shiva Sahasranama thinking I want to make my mind more turbulent, right? So all our spiritual sadhana, all that it is because we have this tiny little hope in our lives, which is helping us carry through these crises, the calamities and catastrophes of life. And it is helping us help this little boat sail over the vast ocean full of tides, full of tsunamis, hurricanes, gushing winds. It's through the ebbs and flows of life. So we want something which is thira, an anchor. So this boat wants an anchor. Our mind and our jiva wants an anchor. So it first advertises, yes, Shiva is that sthira tattva. Shiva is that God principle. Shiva is him whom you must look upon or look up to. And one who is sitting there, one who is going to save us, who is going to help us cross this ocean. But as and how the Shiva Sahasra, the Stotram actually progresses, we see. So first it began with Shiva as the Ishvara. He is all powerful, all encompassing, omnipresent, Sthanu, Prabhu. He is the Lord. He is the Creator. He gave rise to Brahma. He became the Shakti. He became Vishnu. He is Indra. All of that. So we started off with on a very high frequency, high pitch. And slowly, once our mind has gotten used to that level, to that frequency. So you see, our philosophy is so nice, our Indian culture is so nice. We never look down upon anything. Definitely not Ishvara and definitely not so also on the world. So first is, even in Advaita, if you see Vedanta, it always says Neti Niti. First dissociates ourselves from the world. It separates us from everything else by disgust, by vairagya, we say. So until we get jnana, we keep doing this viveka. We say discrimination, vairagya. We want moksha. We want to get liberated from all this mess and muck around us. We want all to do all these sadhana chatushtaya and so on and so forth. But after realization, you see, every single yogi has always proclaimed the vijnana, which means vishesha jnana. So once they have all reached that supreme state, he or she, they have found that state in every one of us, in every living creature, every non-living object, in this entire mechanism and mechanics dynamics of the universe. So to reach there, we need God. To reach God, we need God. So we keep climbing up the stairs. And therefore, we necessarily have to discard and involuntarily look down upon our current state of affairs. So we have to find disgust for our current lifestyle. We have to find disgust for our current limited self. We have to find disgust for the limited joys of life. We need to find disgust first for the petty relationships, the petty relationship quarrels, the petty money matters, business matters, professional career matters, health matters, and so on. So once we get that disgust, which is what is called vairagya, which is what the and so once you get this vairagya, now we'll need something to hold our mind on, right? It can't live in a vacuum. So we need an anchor. We need something which is firm. Therefore, sthira. Therefore, that anchor which is Shiva, who is the greatest, who is the most supreme. So now the mind gets anchored onto Shiva through bhakti. And slowly, slowly, the stotram progresses to start describing Shiva in weird ways. He says, I mean, the stotram says he is white, he is black, he is good, he is bad, he is evil, he is the sinner, he is also the dacoit, he is the slayer, he is death, he is destruction, he is the incurable diseases. And then it also says he is the good, he is the saint, he is the yogi, he is the smashanavasi, he is the bhutachari, bhuta preta avrata, he is the ganadhyaksha, and so on and so forth. So the mind will start questioning this. Is it this or is it that? Is Shiva good or is he bad? So to destroy this confusion, because this is how I interpret this, bhakti to a person or to an entity must be all accepting. You see, if I love a person A, he or she, if I love him for only his good things in life, maybe because he has good money, or maybe he has good looks, or maybe he has, he has a very kind and amicable personality, or because he is good with people, or if he is, I like that he is very moral. If I like a certain person for only those qualities, or for XYZ, then when that person necessarily he cannot always behave with those qualities throughout his life. There will be times when either he himself will swerve from those qualities or circumstances will force him to do so, in which case my love for him will definitely diminish because I have loved him for those XYZ. And therefore, if similarly extrapolating this to Shiva, if a bhakta loves Shiva because he is all supreme, all encompassing, all loving, all benevolent, he has all these Trishula, he has fought out demons, etc., etc., then this kind of love is actually limited because at any point when Shiva's personality, as is described in the Puranas, somewhere something which is criticizable comes up, then suddenly the entire faith of this bhakta is shaken. We have seen this, right? So people put most of their faith in a certain personality. Let's say these modern social personalities, say Gandhi or Ambedkar or whoever, XYZ. So they, of course, they may be great people, but because they're also great, they become very rigid, fanatic fans of these leaders. Not just these leaders. I am saying in general. See, maybe there were followers and fans of Hitler also. There were fans of Nityananda also. There are fans of all these William Churchill people also. So there have been fans for every kind of personality, any charming personality. So that is fan love. It is not real love. This is, I mean, real bhakti, so to speak. Because when that person or some other person criticizes this personality, so maybe they find out the flaws, in Gandhi, or find out flaws in Ambedkar, or find faults in Modi, or finds fault in Hitler or Churchill, they suddenly get very offended. Similar is the case with religions also. They find their prophets, their saints to be the most appeasing. So that is kind of a fanatic fanship. That we are all fanboys of a particular saint. We are all fanboys of a particular deity. And when something bad comes up, we are all completely offended because there is an ego investment in the certain deity. Is it not? So that kind of a love is definitely not love, which is not bhakti. A love, as defined by Narada Bhakti Sutras, is that in which, so they actually can't really define love, just as they can't define jnana directly, just as they can't define moksha directly. They define these concepts by the effect it has on this person, showing that particular quality. So just as they define moksha as that state in which janma and marana, the birth and death ceases. So it is not really defining moksha or Brahman. You see, it is not a direct definition. It's an indirect definition, a conditional definition. Similarly, they define bhakti as in that which is parama prema rupa, in that state where there is supreme love to everything. That is called parama prema rupa bhakti, which is called the para bhakti. So to take us from this fanboy bhakti to the para bhakti state, the deliberately the stotram tries to incorporate or depict Shiva in some negative tones also. And the test is for us to accept this lover of ours, this beloved of ours, which is Shiva, as the supreme being who is present in all things. That is why Jagat is the final conclusion. The summing up of all these namas is Jagat. He is the entire world around us and within us. Everything that moves. So it could be good, bad, evil, nice, polite, modest, immodest, immoral, all of that, which are basically just human lenses, the mind must necessarily transcend. And so, finally, Shiva has been defined as the Sthira and finally also as Jagat. And thus, we have come about a full round uh, in spiritual sadhana, because first starts by saying, I am not this, I am not that. And so I dissociate myself from everything. And once I reach a certain state of realization, I then say, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything else, everything around me becomes Brahma. Similarly, I first say, God is there. I am this servant. I am worshipping him. So because he is big, he is magnanimous, he is magnificent, he is gigantic, he has Mahamukha, Mahateja, Mahaugra, uh, Mahanasa, Mahadamshtra, all that. And so I am now in awe of this deity. So I will start worshipping him. And as I slowly, as my love progresses, as it becomes more and more encompassing, slowly start seeing that same tattva everywhere around me. You see, Purandara Dasa, in a very beautiful, maybe I'll share that article which I've written with you guys. If interested, you may read through. So he, in one of his very famous um, poems, he says, Adityalla Valledayito. So he actually was, in his erstwhile life, in his Purvashrama, he was a great merchant. And he was a very miserly merchant. He was a great stingy merchant. Though he had all the wealth in that town and that kingdom, in fact, the king would himself bow down to this fellow. He was called Srinivasa Naika, I think, in his erstwhile, in his previous ashrama. And so, but his wife was a very devout lady. She used to not hanker after pleasures. She was not at all. She was the last person to be greedy about money, whereas this person was, his entire life and motive was hankering money and wealth and storing it. He would not even spend it on himself. He would keep hankering and he would keep accumulating. And he would, for every little thing that the wife needed, she had to beg from him. So he was very controlling, also very control freak. Uh, So in those days, though, the women didn't work much outside, so they didn't have the independence to work outside. So they had to ask, unfortunately or fortunately, from their husbands only. So she would come for this puja, that puja, please give me some money, all that, and he would refuse, outright refuse. So, but she would not stop begging. She would still keep begging. And so they would always quarrel. So their entire day and night, whenever he returns from home, there would be this quarrel, that request. He would not comply. There would be a fight, and so on and so forth. So finally, things happen, and the story. I'll tell you the story later on. But finally, coming to the poem, he has a eureka moment, a epiphany, and then he turns into Purandara Dasa. Now, reminiscing all those days of his quarrel, which he utterly despised, he says, Adityala Valledaitu. Everything which has happened for good. And his wife, who was his most detested person in his life, his adversary, he would curse her day in and day out. Why the hell did I get married to this? Because in those days, divorce was not an option. So he had to live with her and she had to live with him. And so he would curse her. But after becoming Purandara Dasa, so he says, Adityala Valledaitu, all that has happened for good. And why is he saying so? Because I was roaming the streets like a king, and I was too ashamed to hold the begging bowl. But now that I have the begging bowl with me, I find what great pleasure it gives me, what great satisfaction it gives me to actually live in this manner, in this current lifestyle. And it is she, because she actually played a very important role in that epiphany of his. So I thank her, though I may not like her, for having done all of those things, for having quarreled with me so much. So he is trying to recollect. Even these great saints always recollect, and they actually bless their enemies. They say the enemies of ours must be in our closest quarters. Uh, One, even if we are right, it makes us immune to criticism and insults and keeps us on our toes. Secondly, even if we are wrong, then it is good to have our enemies because they point us our flaws out. So I just gave this example to demonstrate how after having reached a certain state, their idea of good, bad, evil, enemy, friend, raga, dvesha, all blur out. And so it all becomes a whole, a unanimous, homogeneous gray area. And so similar to that are these namavalis are helping us cross that boundary from good to evil and back from evil to good, thus bridging that very staunch rigid wall that we have built for ourselves, and so as to make our hearts more encompassing and more forgiving and more open and accepting to everybody, right? We may not uh, see, for example, it doesn't mean that we forgive a terrorist. We forgive him in emotion, but what must be done, the law of the land will take its course. So, encompassing love and empathy for creatures at heart, but industriousness and dharma in action. So, dharma in karma, but daya in hridaya. Daya in hridaya, dharma in karma. What must be done, what is right and sustainable for society must be done. And that is also Shiva, but daya in hridaya. So that is the entire gist of this Sahasranama. I hope all of you have enjoyed these very boring monologues. Unfortunately, there is no other way because online mode we cannot really have much of an interaction. Any questions, inputs? We will tomorrow recite these shlokas from the beginning till the end, and then get ready for the great grand night of the darkest night of the year, which is Mahashivaratri. Okay, but before that, any inputs, any comments, suggestions, any other teaching that you have, something which you want to share, please go ahead. Yes, Bhavani ma'am. I was expecting this and hoping to hear. Yes.
Just wanted to request you that sometime we get the meanings of the sutras which we from where we have
Yes, yes, very much.
that
Yeah.
will be
Just after Shivratri, I will continue. We will continue meeting like the same way. I will start explaining the meanings from 105 where we had left off till 153. Definitely it will happen.
all right. One more thing, sir. That is, that you had given a reference of Taittiriya Upanishad when you had. I'm not very sure, but maybe you were saying something about Trishku
Correct.
or something like that. In this, my numbering is different, but it was 73 by my this thing, but I think it's something different.
Okay.
That's totally you were referring. You had given. He was somebody who was somebody who wanted to go to heaven with body. Then you talked about a sage who had the same name, and then you had said something about the one sutra on Taittiriya Upanishad. You said you would tell us.
Correct, correct, correct. I will share that on the group right away. It's called uh, the Trishanku's mantras. It starts with Aham Vrikshasya Reriva. I am the tree. I am the root of the tree is how it begins. I will share that on the group, ma'am. Yes. Do you have any question about that?
I just wanted to look at that particular thing and see that verse,
Okay,
its
okay.
meaning. To just make the just curious to know that.
Surely. So I can tell it now also. So it goes as Aham Vrakshasya Reriva Irtif Prishthang Gireriva Urdhva Pavitro Vajiniva Swamritamasmi Dravinagam Savarchasam Sumedha Amritokshitah Iti Trishankur I'll share that on the group. So to summarize, it says, Trishanku is saying, so Trishanku Vedanu Vachanam. So this is the words of Trishanku as soon as he is enlightened. So, the first word that the Buddha spoke, similar to that, the first few verses that Trishanku, as soon as he comes down from his samadhi, this is what he spoke. And he says, Aham Vrakshasya Reva. So he speaks in a very mystical language. He's saying, I am the root of this tree. I am the stem of this tree. Uh, and according to interpreters, this tree refers to this samsara. And that has been a trope we have seen even in the Shiva Sahasranama. Aham Vrikshasya Reriva Kirtif Prishtham Gireriva. I am that, it literally translates to I am that backside of Kirti, of the scattering. So it means I am behind, I am the phenomenon behind that which leads to scattering. So again, a very abstruse mystical saying. Again, there are many interpretations, but one interpretation I have read is it means to say I am the. So you can take kirti literally as being fame. So I am the motivation behind all fame. So we want fame because we want ourselves to grow in our personality and vastness in the identity. So similarly he says I am that which is behind the motivation for fame. It also means I am the phenomenon behind scattering, and possibly that refers to the scattering of particles from the first big bang. Probably, I don't know, it's just my speculation. So kirtif prishtham gireriva, and my kirti, my fame, the altitudes that I have reached is like a giri, is like a mountain. I have reached the summit of all evolution. It seems very arrogant, but yeah, that is because he actually has gone to that state. And so now he's like, when we are climbing up a hill, we ask those who are coming climbing down from the hill, we ask how long is it more? How far is it more? And they are so arrogant, and they are, yeah, I've been there, and they have this look of glee on their face. having submitted it. So he says, I aham gireriva urdhva pavitraha. I am the holiest. I am at the zenith urdhva, like the sun. I am blazing like the sun in my supreme samadhi state. Urdhva pavitro vajiniva swamritamasmi. Su amritamasmi. I am immortal. So yeah, I think it resonates closely with what Swami Vivekananda also keeps always saying, "O ye children of immortal bliss," right? And he always says, "I am immortal." Tell it to yourself. Tell it to yourself. He keeps saying that. So Swamritam Asmi, Dravinam Savarchasam. Dravinam Savarch. So all this fame, Savarchasam, all this glamour, all this Dravida, all this wealth. Sumedha Amritokshitaha, all this good intelligence, professional skills, Amrita, it's all nothing in front of Amrita, in front of immortality. Amritokshitaha iti Trishankor Vedanu Vacharam. So this is how he actually ends his first few verses soon after enlightenment. I will share that definitely, ma'am.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much. Definitely, we should see how they have reached such unbelievable limits of realization.
Correct.
And their words so mystical. Maybe a little bit we can sense just a little bit, and even that is so sublime.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Yes. Any other questions? Any other inputs? Please, all of your valuable inputs are most welcome and in fact cherished. Nothing? Okay. Today, maybe, yes.
Yes. There's one small thing. If or somebody else wanted to say something, if somebody else.
No, please go ahead. I will ask them later.
The first word of the stotra is Stiraha, and the next word is Thanu. What is Thanu here?
Sthano means also the unchangeable. It also literally means the trunk of a tree. The sthanu. Sthanu means the trunk of a tree. Sthira means the anchor. Sthanu also means an anchor. So they are synonyms. Sthira and sthanu are synonyms. Sthanu also means the trunk of a tree. So which means that which is the support system, the skeleton of the universe.
Yes, yes, yes. So this is he's referring absolute state, no? In the absolute state of from where the phenomenal world emerges.
Very true. Correct.
Found it.
Mm.
So that's what you can say. Thank you very much. That's
Thank
all
you.
right.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, anybody else somebody wanted to speak? Pushpa ma'am, tell us.
I was very fascinated when the way you explained that chant was really spellbound.
Thank you.
I wish we'll continue after Shivaratri also.
Absolutely. I am very looking forward to it. I would love to. I mean, I just want all of you also to be there, hopefully.
Many of us are interested. And we would just like to know a little bit about you. You have so much knowledge. Are you with the institute?
So yeah, so I did my graduation and post graduation from IISc, and I am also as a volunteer at Samskrita Bharati. I've also been an author of 3, 4 books, and I'm currently I'm working as a faculty of maths, teaching for competitive exams, and this is my side hustle, so to speak. You know, because I want to learn and I want people to also benefit, probably benefit by going walking the journey along with me. I am not a loner, so to speak, so I want people also to go with me on the journey. So I just thought Shiva Sahasranama and many such projects I've been doing. I have been the creator of Samskrita Nandini, a YouTube channel for this very purpose. So far, I've done the entire translation of Shivananda Lahari, Saundarya Lahari, and I've also been very actively engaged with Samskrita Bharati for teaching Samskritam and also Swadhyayana of Samskritam. So this is a little bit. I mean, I think I spoke too much about myself, but yeah.
Oh, most of it is self-study.
Yes. Yeah.
Really great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I've done 3 levels of Sanskrit Bharati.
Oh, this Shiksha you have done?
Yes.
Oh, oh, then this will actually help you, ma'am, with COVID also. Hmm.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
Even
What could you tell us a little bit about yourself too? What interested you to bring to come to Shiva Sahasranama?
yeah, this was I was really keen on learning this. We have been chanting Vishnu Sahasranam and Rita Sahasranam. We have a group near our house, Rama Temple.
Okay.
So it's to chant in COVID. Till COVID came, we were chanting regularly. Now, of course, it's more of inward journey.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Shiva Sahasranam, I was really interested and it came about. I'm so thankful to you.
Thank you. So my great opportunity.
Kendra for some time.
Sorry?
Kanyakumari. I was a member of Vivekananda Kendra, Kanyakumari.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, that's
But
well,
the
that's wonderful.
circumstances brought me back to parents, so I was looking after my mother now.
Okay. Okay.
So
Hopefully she gets good health and wishing great lifespan.
so I go regularly to Sharda Math. Bhavani, we all meet there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wonderful.
We have that. So
Nice.
all the spiritual interests are common. I
Ah.
would like to learn Saundara Lahari meaning also.
Oh, great. Thank you. That is, in fact, I would say the magnum opus in terms of Stotram of Adi Shankaracharya. My God, the way he has turned Samskrita, a very rigid language, like plastic. He has molded it to his convenience and so beautifully crafted. Yeah,
So beautiful. The meaning must be really mystical.
correct. Yeah, we should also try. Maybe in the future we will do that.
We would like to continue. I think once somebody asked that let's all introduce ourselves, so maybe others too.
Now it's actually a little late. Okay, we can do one thing. I will stop recording and maybe one of you, I mean, one by one, all of you can actually. Uh,
Tomorrow we can talk.
tomorrow also, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Dhanyavad. By the way, tomorrow we will be, all of you, please make sure to come because we will be chanting each, I mean, and all the entirety from the beginning till 153. I would like each of you to chant at least 10 or 20 verses, and we will keep doing it throughout the entire, I mean, whatever length of our classes. So please make sure you all attend because this will be the final revision before Mahashivratri, before we take up the meanings too. Okay, Dhanyavada. Uh, thank you. Dhanyavada. Om Namah Shivaya. Dhanyavada.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Dhanyawad. It's a small request I would like to learn Vishnu Sahasranama and Saundara Lahari.
Okay. Vishnu Sahasranama and Saundara Lahari. Okay. Uh, yeah, Saundara Lahari maybe like in the near future. Vishnu Sahasranama for now I am not actually doing anywhere. Uh, but definitely, ma'am, I think I've referred you to one person, right? Maybe he actually teaches that. Uh, so you can ask him, but he doesn't teach in Kannada. That's the problem. Was it you who asked? Okay, okay. So please do contact him. Or ಏನಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ.
Actually, Vishnu Sahasranama I learned from a lady from Andhra Pradesh. Somehow I could not catch properly.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it requires, I mean, not to boast. I mean, I'm just saying in general. If you learn from someone who knows Samskrita, you may benefit more out of the pronunciation. That aspect, yeah.
She has done some certification courses and all.
Mm.
Connected and I learned from her, but maybe I did not practice, so I did not get it. But I listen to Vishnu Sahasranama every day.
Okay, okay.
So I can, I mean, I can chant very well, but few I find it very tough to pronounce.
Hmm.
So I found you very, you know, impressive and very clarity when you're pronouncing. A lot of clarity.
Thank you. I mean, yours is no less too. You actually emphasize all the correct swaras, all the correct pranas. That's really very fascinating.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Actually, I've been learning from past 2 years.
Hmm.
Right now, I finished with 11 chamkams and sorry, 11 namakams, and I'm in the fifth chamkam now. So
Oh,
my teacher was teaching me. She's very perfect in pronunciation, and she's very strict about it.
I mean, I my favorite is the fifth and the sixth. The sixth is also very nice. Agnischama, Indraschame, Somaschama, Indraschame. That's so beautiful.
That interest me that that's
Correct.
very nice.
Correct. Correct. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Om Namah
Dhanyavad.
Shivaya.